go.
Welcome to Comics League Dark, the official news show of Comics League. I'm your host, Jared, and let's bring in the other people. First off, we have the one with the worst takes in all of shipping.
I am Phoenix!
Hello, Nick.
Atlas.
Screecher. And we've got, let me see, what's a good intro for our new guest? We have a new panelist joining us. Screw it.
I like those odds.
What's up, Chris? How you doing?
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me, man.
I thought you'd dig that one. And
yeah.
All right.
Flame on!
What's up? And then
All the hopes and dreams of Krypton live in you now.
what's up, Taladia?
What's up?
And then our final panelist. So, hey, what's up, Nix?
Howdy.
So, all right. So we got a couple of topics that we're talking about tonight, but there's one that just happened. I've been hyping this up. Taladia knows what I'm about to say here. So we hit 600 subs. And that in itself is big.
Yeah.
But I got one other piece of news
What?
concerning the channel that I really want to announce. So I made a very special clip that's going to commemorate this. So 3, 2, 1. So yeah, we got invited for limited monetization for YouTube.
Nice.
Let's
Congratulations.
That's amazing.
Which basically means I now can have fan memberships and super chats. I still have to set that up. I'll be applying tomorrow to get that started, but just wanted to.
Okay, Jared, I have to say this. If the ultimate tier is not called the Snyder tier, I will literally never work with you again.
That's actually a good idea. So there you go. So we'll talk about tiers, but the point is, we're now at this point. And by the way, asking as a video editor, how much did Jared slow that tune back to get it past copyright? I didn't do anything to it. I just put that and the clips together, and there you go.
He's probably gonna get a copyright ding, but it was worth it.
No, this is worth it. I'm fine with it because it's within the fair use thing. But
No,
the point
Jared,
is,
you're worth it.
thank you. So the thing is that took 2.5 years first off. So I'm like, finally, geez. And so basically the way this is gonna work is that after I set it up, we'll have membership tiers, which one of those tiers will be an invite for a lucky member to be a member of our panels for a stream of their choosing. If there's a topic that they would like to talk about, they can run it by me subject to my approval, and then we can discuss it. I know Tevi is going to spam Super Sons, but at this point, if he signs up, he'll be paying me. So I'm like, I don't care.
I will pay the money to have a Wonder Bat stream.
Okay, it could be about how do I approach this?
How Wonder Bat, like I'm gonna make you do a stream about talking about like the good things about Wonder Bat, and that will be like that'll be my.
Well,
tier
Nick,
when we're done.
I never said how much that tier is going to be.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
Whatever.
We'll talk about that.
You tell
We'll talk about that.
You tell me the stream is $5,000.
Batman doesn't do ships.
Oh yes, he does. But
Jared,
yes,
if you tell me,
One at a time.
yes.
One at a time, people.
I'll go first, and then you guys.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Jared, if you tell me that it's $5,000 to the stream, I will tell you that'll be the best $5,000 I've ever spent.
Lawrence will pay to counteract that.
No, but Batman.
All right.
does do
Well, I
ships.
guess I'm spending $10,000.
But Batman does do ships, according to Jared, which is Batman and Nightwing on next stream.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
That was
the
a Freudian slip. I meant to say Batman and Batgirl, but it slipped out Batman and Nightwing.
Jared,
It's on the
let-
internet,
let-
man. You're not
Jared,
living that down.
Please never question my taste in ships ever again. After what Vlade just said, you have no right to question my taste in ships ever again.
You're the one that tries to defend Batcess, sir. So let's not talk about your
Okay,
defense of
to be
your-
fair, I
your
don't
crappy-
defend Bat-Says. I just say that people overhate it. I never said the idea of them getting together is a good idea. In fact, the show literally says it is a bad idea. I just think people overhate it as a meme.
Actually, it's not. See, here's the thing. I think people hate it just the right amount because really, when you look at that, most of the good ideas from DCAU were Paul Dini. The rest of it was the BS parts were Bruce Timm.
All right,
And
let's
the
save
killer
this for.
art.
Let's
But-
save that for. Let's save that discussion for like a dedicated. show.
But seriously, guys. Just thank you for
I
being
love you,
part
brother.
of this
I love
journey. Yeah, I love you too. It's really at this point because when I started Comics League, it was just a single Under Two Capes podcast where I would just come together. Listen to my first episode. It is very rough. It is in no way as refined as we are today. So I feel like
And
I've
look-
matured a little bit, not that
You
much, but a
You
little
went
bit.
from a one-man show to a literal packed house.
Yeah, to a comics league, if you will, a Zack Snyder's comics league.
What are we?
So-
Some sort of comics league?
Yeah.
With
That works
room
if I have
for
a
more.
comic squad. But seriously, guys, I really appreciate it. So, yeah, that's the announcement. We're getting monetized. So there you go.
Yeah, fan funding, guys, and just a reminder, guys. When it
By the
comes down
way,
to this stuff, it's limited.
So is this little dude from the UK as well?
Don't spoil it yet.
Come on.
Trying to let you share in my greatness.
No. Let him. It's his announcement to share. So let him do it on his own terms.
Okay.
But
Well,
I mean,
but yes, Deladia is monetized now. So congratulations.
yeah, fan funded, yes.
Congrats, man.
So
I will say-
I
Sorry.
will say. So Jared, you know what this means, right? That
What?
means that Tevye can just spam super chats about Super Sons.
Hey, at least you're
Yeah.
making
I don't have
money.
to show it, but yeah, that's the thing. He'll be paying me at that point, so I have no problems.
And,
just-
Jared-
So Tevye, if you're here, if you want him to talk about nothing but Super Sons, just keep paying for those super chats.
no, but here's the thing. Yeah, he can super chat. Doesn't mean I have to display it.
And Jared,
I think it does.
Oh,
If you-
speak of the devil.
Oh my
Oh my gosh, Nick!
Speak of the devil.
By the way, so Tevye, in case you're wondering, you will be able to send me super chats to talk about Super Sons.
And
he'll
become
do
a
it,
member.
too. He'll do it. He'll do it.
He'll do it.
fucking
He'll do it. Happy 600 subs. Thank you, brother. So in case you're wondering how I got to this point, so YouTube lowered it. So if you get 500 subs, and I think it's like 3,000 watch hours, you can apply for at least the fan funding part.
Mhm.
So all you people who have YouTube channels, get to 500 subs and 3,000 watch hours, and you're golden. You are good to go.
And point this out, right? As soon as you apply for the fan funding stuff, they will knock off at least 2,000 watch hours that will go back down to 1.5 or 1.2
What?
watch hours once you apply for YouTube
What?
fan funding.
What? they take away watch hours from me.
Yeah, they'll take it away they'll knock it off. Yeah, because that's what happened. I asked somebody about.
Wait. Do they knock away from the requirements, meaning I now need less, or is it like they make it so those watch hours never happened?
I don't know. So as far as I know, mine was knocked off.
But what does knocked off mean, Taladia?
So it got pushed back instead of it sticking at that point.
Mm-hmm.
To regrind to get it to 4K again.
Mm-hmm.
But mind you, you'll get the 4K anyway, so you don't have to worry.
I'm looking this up right now because I've never seen that.
I'm probably gonna open Pandora's box for saying this, but they are doing a whole deluxe trade paperback of the Super Sons coming out in October.
No, it's
Oh.
no.
Oh,
Yes.
No. JJheat. Wait, Nick.
Highlight Lawrence's comment.
Hang on, Nick. It's not a deluxe trade paperback. It's an omnibus.
Yeah.
I will pay up
Yes.
for Super Sons. And Tevia, yes, you can spam that as much as you like. on
Okay,
chat.
so I
As
think
long
we
as you're
should
paying it, I don't care.
we should structure the Patreon like this: Wonder Bad at the very top, then Super Sons, and then whatever stream topic possible.
Lawrence, JJheat, you're welcome to make that your Patreon tier list. You're welcome to do that.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I will say this: once you submit a topic and it's covered in an episode, I'm not gonna do the double dapping thing. I was smart in this,
Mhm.
That's fair. That's fair.
meaning
Jared?
that it can't be like 5 streams of Super Sons and 5 streams of Wonder Bat. You get 1 each.
When Lawrence and Tevia super chat you so often that like in 6 months you have enough money to buy like a brand new Porsche or Lamborghini, you have to get a Super Sons license plate on it.
No, I'm going to spray paint Jonathan Kent on the hood of the car.
Which Jonathan Kent?
No, the kid, and then on the back, it's gonna have a big sticker that says "Suck it, Bendis."
Oh my god! And then you're
And now
literally
we're
gonna
demonetized.
So that's the announcement. I'm gonna set that up, and hopefully I'll have more details on what the tiers are gonna look like and what's gonna be offered by next week's CLD. It's just right now I wanted to announce that it's happening. I'm gonna apply tomorrow.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So
And
it's all good.
If you need any help with any of the YouTube ban funding stuff, let me know and I'll help you out with that in terms of.
And by the way, Taladia, I looked it up. I don't see anyone talking about them taking away watch hours.
That's weird. For me, it
Hey,
did.
Taladia, how familiar are you with Patreon?
How? Sorry, I didn't catch that. I'm half awake.
How familiar are you with Patreon?
Patreon.
Patreon?
Mhm.
How-
How familiar are you with Patreon? Is what Nick asked.
I'm kind of understanding it in some ways.
Yeah, because I've been trying to push my Patreon. No success so far. I'm still going to try. I just figured I'd
Just
solicit some help.
Keep trying. It'll happen.
In other words, subscribe to my Patreon.
Yeah. So that's and you can go to the description for all the information of these fine gentlemen.
And that's the only plug you're going to get on it. So.
Yes. So now we're going to move over to our next topic. And I got a new thing that I'm going to use to transition to next topic. Are you ready?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
I'm going to use that from now on. So Matt Reeves, the Batman, is expanding and getting more movies. And
I got to say this.
Wait. I'm not done yet. This is the part. And actors.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Yeah, it says they want to bring in other movies and other directors to expand the Matt Reeves universe.
Oh, all right. I got to say this.
Oh.
Hold it.
Yeah.
Wait, is
Guys,
Matt Reeves
how
playing
often-
ball
how
or?
One at a time, guys.
How often did I say something like this on stream that they'd use that as a springboard? You say, "Oh, Matt Reeves just wants to keep it contained."
No.
We've
No,
had
no,
this
no.
conversation
Nick,
so many
Nick,
times.
No. Nick, what I said was they're not going to use that to bring in like Superman or Batman or anything like that. They're still going to use that as a universe. because Matt Reeves wants it to be separate from the alien, like
Matt
very
Reeves is
fantastical
not
part.
the head of Warner Brothers.
No,
Matt-
but
If they tell Matt Reeves we are expanding this, all of a sudden you're gonna have Matt Reeves say, "Oh, this is the best idea ever." Blah blah blah.
okay.
Here's
But-
my conspiracy.
And I was
theory.
going off of the information available at the time, Nick.
We
And-
can
and-
make an objective argument, but less remains to be seen.
Mhm.
Here's my conspiracy theory. Here's what I'm gonna say. And
10
let's
heads,
find-
everyone.
Okay. This is and let's and time will tell if I'm right or wrong. But I'm just gonna put this out there. That they're setting this up as a fallback plan. And
Yes.
If the Gunn universe does not work, they are
Which
going
it
to
won't.
use the Batman as a springboard for their new universe. I'm not saying Matt Reeves is going to be taking James Gunn's job. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that they're going to build a new DC universe out of the Batman, and
And it is
we're gonna
confirmed,
see,
Dave.
And we're going to see other DC superheroes in his universe with that same feel. I think
Now,
I think they're setting that up as their fallback. That's their
There's-
plan B.
there's another reason why I wanted to talk about this, because this also has very interesting implications concerning this little guy right here.
Yeah, second Warner Brothers.
So if they're bringing in this, so here's my thing. Here's my issue. So people were telling me, yeah, they're not going to bring Snyder back or like do the Snyderverse stuff with Netflix or whatever, however the hell they do it, because they don't want it to compete with James Gunn's DC universe. Obviously, that changed.
Yeah.
That's what I'm at. That's the major reason why I wanted to discuss this today. Because first off, I'm very excited for this because I love the Batman. I think it's like it's up there as one of my top Batman movies, despite the fact that that the pacing is so horrendous. But
Yeah, it's got one really bad moment. I don't even need to say it. But
Yeah, I
other
know
than
what you're
that,
talking
it's
about.
a really good movie.
But my point is, if they're expanding it and conceivably allowing a competing universe, if you will, methinks that this is opening some doors.
Maybe doors to some other Elseworlds.
Yeah, with a big S on it, and it's like, yes, the Batman is fantastic.
I thought it had a big ZS on it.
Yes, exactly. And that's the thing, because again, Warner Brothers has been licensing a lot of exclusive Netflix stuff, and apparently, so here's the interesting fact. Did you guys know that ZSJL is on Netflix in other countries?
Internationally or in America?
Internationally.
See,
Okay.
here's the thing. I'm
Tell
still
me
not
if you
completely,
Nick was talking first.
I'm still not completely sold that like they're gonna sell Snap Netflix. But that being said, with each passing day, with each new thing that happens, it just gets more and more likely. So
Yeah, and Taladia has to go. So, brother, I will see you when I see you, dude.
Yeah, we'll see you later for my adventures with Superman.
Good luck.
And this, yeah,
Before you go, Wonder Man.
you can get rid of him if you want. Yeah, and
you.
remember, guys, later on today will be the Skywalker stream, so stay tuned for
And
that.
by the way, Taladia and JJheat, this is for you.
Why did you say that name?
Okay, cool.
I
Super
regret
Wonder,
that.
Super Wonder.
Thank you, Nick.
Super Wonder.
Thank you, Nick. So, what's really interesting about it, and he says that there are some questionable subtext in the Batman as well. That one scene just kind of says it out loud. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But the point is, the thing is about this is that Nick, you've been very
skeptical.
critical of the cell. Well, not critical. You've been
Skeptical.
skeptical. Okay, yeah, that's the right.
That
word.
would be the right word.
But do you at least agree with me that more and more stuff is happening that make it possible?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much just said that like a second ago, but yeah.
I just wanted to confirm it. So
Yeah, yeah, it's like I'm still very skeptical about it. Like I'm not sure if it's possible. I'm trying to be open-minded. I'm trying to be open-minded about it. But even I can't admit, like, the road is being paved. Like, all the signs are leading up to it becoming more and more possible. It's looking good. I'm still very skeptical, but even I have to admit, like, yeah,
And
it looks
Tavia,
better by the day.
here's the thing. Anyone that thinks that the audience is to be confused thinks the audiences are idiots. Because all you have to do is cast a different actor. They're gonna get it.
The bad embargo would disagree with
I
you on
will.
that.
I do feel like it depends on mediums. Like if you have a Batman on movies, you have Batman on TV. I think your average person can differentiate that. Like if you have a Batman exclusive to streaming, which is why I thought they could have done Snyder on HBO Max. Obviously, that's out the window now. But like, I do think like I'm okay, fair enough. But like, I still do feel like if you have let's say for example you do Man of Steel. Let's say you do Superman Legacy 1 year, and the next movie do Man of Steel 2 with Henry Cavill. Like, just for the sake of argument, it would confuse people. Same thing if you do the Batman and then Brave and the Bold. I do feel like movies, like it's not really about having the two of the same characters. It's about having two of the same characters in the same medium.
Well, no, but here's what they do. Just put a big-ass Elseworlds word underneath the DC logo.
That
before,
doesn't
like,
matter to
stuff.
people. It doesn't matter to people. Like, I'm arguing from a average person perspective.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying if DC clearly communicates that this is disconnected in all the trades, just say this is disconnected. You do not have to worry about this.
Average person does not read trades. I'm talking about people who are not even engaged, who aren't on Twitter. Just they're average people doing their job. They see an ad for Batman on TV, and like, oh, Batman, I like Batman. Let's go see Batman. And even if you like, Jared, please let me finish. Even if they see Elseworlds, like literally in like big neon green letters, they don't know what Elseworlds means. Like even if you like, I just don't. I really feel like there's not enough explanation you do for normal audiences to truly get the concept.
Imagine Henry. I would be very surprised if they put Henry Cavill in the Reevesverse. I don't think he particularly fits in the Reevesverse. Plus, he already has a Batman.
Imagine like it's a multiverse thing. Imagine Patterson meeting Batfleck.
Yeah, and he'd be like, "Oh, you're just you're just the Diet Coke version." And Batfleck goes to him, "You're the Diet Coke Batman." So Chris, your thoughts on the Matt Reeves Batman world expanding?
I'm interested in a way that I think that the Matt Reeves Batman kind of gave us a more of a normie friendly version of Batman.
Yeah,
meaning that it was a very gangster. It was a gangster film. It wasn't a Batman film.
We can come back to kind of his '90s roots, I'd say.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd be interested to see how the normies would react to other superheroes in that gangster film universe. If you did have the Birds of Prey, but you didn't do the garbage Birds of Prey, like you did like a legit Birds of Prey, because they're gangsters. I mean, essentially got Huntress,
Wait, which Birds of Prey are we talking about?
How about a Birds of Prey movie that actually has arguably one of the most important Birds of Prey movies characters, Batgirl?
Yep, Oracle. Yeah,
imagine in the Batman 2, you see like Helena Bertinelli is a big part of it.
Yes, I could totally see that in this universe, dude.
Yeah, I think I'd be, and it sucks because it's like I'm advocating for something that it's almost antithetical to comic fandom, which is homogenizing the property in a way that we get like I guess a new take on Batman so that it keeps it alive, because like Warner Brothers has been mishandling their properties now for years, and it sucks because they basically Disney kind of like from what I've been hearing behind the scenes is Disney kind of caught them with their pants down with the whole Avengers Assemble, the MCU. And rather than doing it, rather than learning what Disney made for mistakes and following in their line and being like, okay, where's our Iron Man movie? Because that, in my opinion, is what really kicked off the MCU.
Yeah, it did.
That and instead of like having a succession of really good individual movies and then taking your market analysis and seeing which ones were popular and which ones weren't, and then taking the ones that were popular and putting them in a group movie. Instead, what they did was they panicked, saw the Avengers assemble, and went, you know what? Let's do that right out of the gate. And they rushed it. They gave Gal Gadot was actually in Batman versus Superman before she was in her own movie. And I think I think it cheapened that. I think it ruined that. And if if we were to have a build up to that, I think the Snyderverse would have been like 20 years from now, okay, 50 years from now, whatever, when we're watching, you know, our grandkids or whatever are watching the Blu-rays and they're watching them out of order, essentially, and they're seeing the individual movies first, and then they lead into the group movies. I think you're going to get a hell of a lot better of a reception than what we got, kind of like what Fox did with Firefly. But what I'm seeing with this new universe is a chance to start again and to start in a more normie friendly manner. If you can get your girlfriend or your wife or whomever who isn't into comics as much as you to start talking about the intricacies of what's going on in Gotham City, that's a win.
Yeah.
Man.
So Chris, you mean a new direction?
Yeah. No. But the thing is that this new universe, I in terms of the Gunverse, is not doing that, because what's their first product? Creature Commandos. Who the hell has heard of Creature Commandos?
And like Blue Beetle is in like this quasi state where, like, if it's successful, it's going to be part of the Gunverse. If it's not, he's going to like say, "Oh no, I never planned it.
Dude, see, I feel so bad for the Blue Beetle. Like, I love Miguel. I love Cobra Kai. I want to see that.
Cobra Kai never dies.
Yeah, it did. It ended.
Yep.
No, it hasn't. They're doing their final season. They still got
but like, I feel like Blue Beetle is set up for failure. I honestly do.
It is.
It's 3 months out.
Definitely.
No marketing. Literally, they literally tanked the entire, like, as soon as that first trailer ended and they said Batman is a fascist, literally you could hear the hype train, like the brakes on the hype train just squealing to a screeching halt, because most people were willing to give it a chance. Like, because Cobra Kai is a popular show and Solo is a pretty good character. And like the idea of him playing Blue Beetle is a good idea. And like, okay, it looks nice.
Wait. I have a comment.
If you go into a corner and cry, so.
And by the way, real quick, TJ, here's the thing: the companies focus on the general audience the most because they're the majority in terms of who goes and sees movies. Because yes,
we're going to go see
one at a time, gentlemen.
Do you think Endgame got to $2 billion just by catering to like the hardcore comic fans?
Yeah. Well, let me finish next time, Nick. It's all good. But yeah, that's the thing. And yes, the fans are still important. The problem is when you focus too much on the fans and not with the general audience, because the general audience was mostly more receptive to the DC movies when they weren't tampered with. Like when you didn't have a half hour taken out of BVS, when you didn't have, when ZSJL finally came out, and then TJ says Tyler Hoechlin would fit with Patterson. No, that was too hopeful.
I'm gonna disagree. Because like Tyler Hoechlin Superman can actually get kind of dark, and I actually think that like sorry, the Bat Freak like I said, but like I actually feel like Tyler Hoechlin Superman, because he's kind of like, I think he could work in the Patterson universe.
And don't we also have the writer strike, so nothing really can be done right now.
Well, you know one thing you could do. You could #release Schumacher cut.
Well, yeah, that too. Maybe DC films will be like the way DC Comics was, relying on several different Batman series for most of its ticket sales. Well, yeah,
we're doing that now.
It's no secret that Batman pretty much finances all of DC. So really, Bruce Wayne owns DC when you think about it.
Yeah, and like, Marvel's not much better.
So next,
all right.
Your opinion on the Batman? Like expanding?
Well, I haven't really seen the Batman yet, but honestly, I would be, I'd be down for it. You know,
Well,
I
first
just
off, there's so much potential in that universe for it to grow.
exactly.
That's the good part. That's one of the best parts, honestly, of the Batman is that the way it ended, it set up so much that there's conceivably no limit to where it could go. So now I trust Matt
Exactly.
Reeves' universe. Yes, this is the one thing that most people are excited for, and more Matt Reeves. And then you are aware that the new guy's doing the exact opposite of what Snyder did with Superman. It will not work, in my opinion. I have felt, but I seriously doubt it. I don't think the Gunverse is going to be as successful as people think it is, chiefly because there from what I've seen of the Superman movie and Gunn talking about it, he's relying too much on the nostalgia for Christopher Reeve, and that can only get you so far, a la Superman Returns.
I think I think I'd like it a lot more, if they stayed within the Batman universe that they've already set up with Matt Reeves, because like it's only just one movie. We've barely seen any of this universe, and like you said, there's so much that they could build up to. That they built up to.
Court of
There's
Owls.
so many possibilities, and it'd be so nice to just not have to go through a fucking reboot, a fudging reboot right off the bat.
Thank you.
I
would
agree with you, Mix, but I feel like the biggest factor is whether or not Matt Reeves plays ball. This expansion is really key in what can make or break the Batman franchise.
I hate to break it to you, but Matt Reeves is not the head of DC.
No, it could be part of his contract doing this universe. He says, "I want my stuff to be completely separate."
Well, I guess
you have to renegotiate then. But here's the thing:
or they tell him either you get on ball or you're out because
here's the thing. All we know is that it's expanding with like other directors of movies. It doesn't necessarily mean it's expanding and like they're bringing Superman and Wonder Woman and such. It
also,
could be.
We don't know if it's in his contract. That's the other thing.
Well, yeah, that's true. But all I'm saying, it looks like to me, it's not really expanding, like bringing in other DC characters. I think what it's doing is just bringing in other Batman characters that are. And what's up, David? They're bringing in other Batman characters that could work in this universe, because when you think about it, with Batman comics, for the most part, they are pretty grounded.
Here's the problem with they're doing a Bat Family thing. Well, that's the whole point of Brave and the Bold. Like James Gunn literally said, Brave and the Bold was meant to be a springboard for other Bat Family projects. So why are they doing the exact same idea twice?
Well, he never said they're going to be Bat Family. I said Batman characters. It could be like they're bringing in other villains, because remember, they did say they wanted to do the villain origin movies.
I don't think they're going to, like, that's... Because remember, they were supposed to do a Penguin thing in HBO Max, and that fell through, so I'm not sure that...
Are you sure it fell through?
From what I hear, it got canceled.
I don't think so. I would have heard about that.
I thought I remember hearing a news story that, like...
No,
I know it's been in development hell for years. That much
It has.
Like, that part was for, like...
I'm looking it up. So far, I don't see anything. It just suspends production due to the writer's strike. It doesn't say canceled, Nick.
I still think it's on thin ice.
And by the way, Tevia, will this Batman movie universe open the door to the Court of Owls? Yes.
It should.
If ever there's a villain to put, if there ever there's a Batman villain to put as the third movie, it is the Court of Owls.
I honestly think the likelihood.
I
I feel like the Batman was very clearly setting up the Court of Owls. Like the way the Batman. Also, as far as Robin, I've said this so many times, but I think the kid from the funeral is going to be Robin. I just think they were setting that up for the second movie.
He's essentially a Richard Grayson stand-in. You cannot tell me otherwise.
That's true.
I mean, just look at like his storyline of like his family getting killed. You know, also like the way that he looked at Bruce. Like I feel like they're setting something up there.
And by the way, Tevia asked question: will the writer's strike affect this Batman universe being expanded? Not yet, because all they could do is like say, hey, we could do a movie about this. It's only when they get into like the writing of the scripts and stuff that the writer's strike starts to get involved.
Yeah, this is more of a delay. I mean, we might see stuff canceled because of it, but Honestly, it's really hard to tell right now. The best thing I can say is just wait and see what happens.
Unless the Directors Guild goes on strike, then absolutely it's going to affect it.
Or SAG, because SAG has been talking about going on strike too. So
if SAG happens, then all of Hollywood stops.
Well, there's a reason that there's a high likelihood that will happen, and that's if you haven't noticed in the recent box office numbers, week after week after week, we're well past the halfway mark, and it has been a massive decline in ticket sales across the board, especially domestically. And I think what the writer's strike is doing is I don't think it's what we think it is. I think it's a means to mitigate the damage and loss for that.
Yeah, because I think there's a clause where during a writer's strike they can cancel projects a lot easier. So I think I've heard tinfoil hats that the producers or the studios, they kind of let it happen knowing that they could clean house.
Well, that makes sense because it's an inordinate amount of stuff being canceled. Which, when you think about it, if Zaslav had waited, he could have just canceled. Well, actually, Batgirl would have come out before the writer's strike. I was about to say he could have canceled it before the when the writer's strike happened. But all right,
I will concede this about Indy 5. I feel like it's commercially unsuccessful, regardless of what was going on with the writer's strike or any other external factors in Hollywood. Because
that movie should not have cost $300 million. There's no way in heck that movie should have cost $300 million.
I agree, Nick.
By the way, Dave said the rumors that Superman Legacy will basically be Superman versus the Elite with the Authority instead of the Elite, who will basically represent the Snyderverse. That would be lame if that's true. I don't think that is true because I don't think James Gunn would risk pissing off the Snyder fans.
Not to mention that's overly petty.
Well, to be fair, James Gunn has shown himself to be petty, and basically his ego rules everything.
Yeah, second Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Why else would he get rid of Superman, get rid of Henry Cavill, and then hire an actor that looks exactly like him? And it's not even in his and he's the Superman's gonna be 32 years old. I'm sorry, Henry Cavill could easily play 32 years old.
Oh well, Henry's problematic. Dude.
You know what? Hang on. Might as well go to this. So here's why it's infuriating.
Once again, I gave you a perfect segue.
Thank you. I love that. And by the way, so what do you think of my new transition animation?
I really
Very
like
cool.
it. I hope you keep.
Nice touch. Nice touch.
Yeah, I'm keeping it. That was a new thing I wanted to do for a while. But anyways, this literally.
God, we are old.
This pissed me off when he said, "Oh yeah, Superman's gonna be Coin Sweat's age, which is 31." So I'm like, "You're telling me you fired Cavill, who's 39 but looks like a 31-year-old?"
No, he looks like someone in this
late 20s, really.
If Cavill could play a 26-year-old easily,
he could pull it off. Every excuse that James Gunn gave as to why Henry Cavill was not Superman, he literally goes then and cancels it and contradicts it. Which Lawrence, yeah, he is that stupid. Honestly, I normally don't like calling someone stupid, but either he is lying, which that is also a possibility, or he is just stupid and doesn't see it. I'm sorry, I have to be blunt.
I don't think he made the call to cut. Honestly, I think James Gunn is a stooge in this. I don't think he has the pull that we think he does. As somebody that kind of worked in an industry very adjacent to this with all the politics, Henry Cavill has been labeled what will kill you in any industry, which is difficult to work with. And as
really
a result,
undeserved.
Yeah. Well, the reason why he's difficult to work with is because he's running against the message that's being pumped through our media now. And he represents everything that the people in our media despise. He's a straight white male, but
not only that, but he's good looking and he's
a nerd.
Fit.
Yeah, the guys love him because he's a nerd. Girls love him because he's hot. And you combine that.
He's an insanely good looking dude. He's got muscles that literally rival the Rock's.
Yeah,
but he's the exact exact.
Honestly.
He talks about Warhammer. He builds computers.
Have you seen? You heard the stories about how he got kicked, how he left The Witcher, right?
Yeah, they wanted to change it.
Yeah.
By the way, Nick, speaking of him having muscle to rival The Rock, if we got that Rock versus Superman movie, I would want one of the promotional images to be the Black Adam and Superman arm wrestling a la All-Star Superman.
Yes.
Oh my god, yes.
Or later on, they go, Teth, you son of a bee, and then they do the whole Predator thing.
Oh my god.
The arm shake.
And then because they're both super strong, it sends out a little shockwave when their hands hit.
Yeah, the building gets leveled as they do it.
Yes, and they're just hovering there.
All the more reason that we come up with better stuff than DC execs.
I wanted to talk about something, and Chris, kind of tell me what you think about this. So I heard a story that supposedly, like, Henry Cavill actually was supposed to come back to Superman Legacy. Like, that's the whole reason they did that song and dance. But apparently, Henry Cavill saw what they had planned for Superman Legacy, and he chose to leave on his own accord. Chris, what do you think about that situation? Just knowing what you know of the industry, do you think that is possible?
Well, because we got to keep it PG, I gotta skirt around the Australian poetry, but basically, they really what they did was they attacked him economically. They found that he's the fans' hero. The guy was having problems with The Witcher. Okay, like he clearly hissrich there and all that whole debacle or whatever, where she was basically converting The Witcher into something that it wasn't, and he's your voice for the fans. So the fans love him. So he's already having trouble there, and they're like, hey, here's an out. You want to come over to Warner Brothers again, do some more Superman stuff? Oh, I can do that? Yeah, we'll let you do that. Okay. He jumped ship, and they're like, oh, yeah.
And he announces. They have him announce he's coming back as Superman.
Yeah, and this is also, where it gets funny.
Speaking of Witcher, did you hear that it's already out of the top 10?
Well, yeah.
And apparently, and by the way, that's the metrics that Netflix cares about. So, because they want shows that get engagement. Again, like the fact that Witcher is I think it premiered on within less than a week, it's out of the top 10. That is not good for
Other breaking news: water, wet.
Well, here's the thing though. It's so he kind of got over there with the with coming over. They made him do his debut or whatever. They made him make the announcement, and that right there, that burned the bridge. That's like, okay, you're off. You're now no longer incurring a job at Hissrich's Witcher. Okay, you're off that. Now we're going to cut ties with you for Superman. And the only reason why we know about the whole James Gunn thing and all this stuff and how the Spider-Verse was killed is because of Cavill. He's like,
Chris, you're a little muffled.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's my I'm using a lavalier mic.
Okay.
So basically, the only reason why we know about the end of the Snyderverse and that whole James Gunn thing was because of Cavill. He's like, fine, I'm going to burn this bridge. Like, basically, he let slip all of the stuff that we weren't supposed to know. Because I'll tell you right now, that's one of the things that destroyed the Blue Beetle. And it's also destroyed the Flash movie, was we knew preventively going in that none of that stuff matters anymore because the Snyderverse is dead. So
yeah, and they announced a reboot.
Yeah. So nobody cares about what the artifacts of the Snyderverse, which is the Flash and the Blue Beetle. Nobody cares anymore. That's Black Adam.
What's up, Brown Destroyer?
Yeah,
maybe Aquaman 2, but even then, you still have Amber Heard.
Yeah.
Well, the Flash. Yeah. Obviously, the Flash was hit by every possible worst thing. Ezra is not well liked. All his antics, really people saw it. Everyone saw what he was doing, and the fact that he kept his job, and now they're trying to gaslight us into liking him again. And the fact that, and then the movie itself was
mid
at best.
I think it was enjoyable. That's just me. And then David, yes, Blue Beetle is so dead in the water.
Yeah.
Honestly, in a better environment, Blue Beetle probably could have done okay.
Yeah.
And then Aquaman, I do think it is being hampered by Amber Heard. Even if he's only in the movie for 20 minutes, the fact that she's even in the movie, there is a large percentage of people. Because I'm sorry, but the Johnny Depp stands, they are they are large.
They're done.
Because remember, that whole trial was literally it was the modern day OJ trial.
Yep.
Like the OJ comparisons because that was televised. Everyone was watching it. Amber Heard literally got humiliated. All of her dirty laundry got into the world to see. Like, do you know how hard it is to win a slander case, especially as a man being like in that kind of discrimination?
Oh yeah.
The fact that Johnny Depp won just is so embarrassing for her. Like, there's a reason why she fled Hollywood.
And
then
David brings up a good point. Aquaman could be okay because the first one was so big and overseas, a lot of people liked it. That is true.
Black Adam numbers best case scenario.
Well, not necessarily because Black Adam didn't even get a China release.
I do think Aquaman is it could go either way, but it's not looking good, especially with like the fact that they're gonna double down on the whole eco thing, you know.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
But it makes sense for Aquaman though, so it's like okay.
But to go yes, the first movie had it. Like, let's be honest, the first movie had it, but like
first movie did.
The first movie had the reason why Aquaman made $1 billion is it was the most I think Aquaman was the best MCU DC movie.
Mm-hmm.
It honestly it was an MCU movie through and through, and I mean that in the best way possible. Like, I'm not trying to say that to demean it. Like, it was a phase 2 Marvel movie.
Here's the other ding for Aquaman is the fact that, spoiler alert, the post-credit scene for Aquaman is like the most character assassination. I mean, the post-credit scene for Flash with Aquaman is the most character assassinating thing I have seen in a long time, where he's just stumbling, he's drunk, and I'm like, oh God.
By the way, some point tonight, can we talk about Deadpool 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will be. That is a topic.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And speaking of poor movie factors, Rotten Tomatoes is not credible?
Yeah, now people are starting to doubt Rotten Tomatoes.
Pretend to be shocked.
Which, Nix, what's your reaction to learning that Rotten Tomatoes is unreliable?
I'm shook. Absolutely astonished.
Jerry,
how could they do to us?
We need to hear what's Barry's white take on this. What's Barry's white take on this?
Other breaking news. Water. Wet.
Nick, that is no, I kid you not, the exact clip I was going to play as soon as Nick's was done. I kid you not.
Like, if there was ever a
that
moment,
in there.
If there was ever a moment for that clip, it was there. But also, I'm so glad you have that clip now.
Oh, it's
Seriously,
so
though.
applicable. It's so applicable. And
Seriously, though,
here's one. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think it's been known for quite a while now that you can't trust Rotten Tomatoes, especially because most of the critics on it bash. Like, I think my defining moment where I realized how bad things were the critics were bashing the Mario movie on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience was loving it, and I'm like, yeah, no, this is
or
something's
Captain
wrong
Marvel.
here.
Oh, the whole
Captain Marvel, exactly.
And there's evidence that a lot of those reviewers are bought and paid for, so the studios probably go up to them with
$100 billion. Gentlemen.
Wait, Jared, are you telling me that The Little Mermaid, it does not have a 95% audience approval score?
Mm-mm. And by the way, David, no, we haven't talked about it yet because I haven't watched it yet. I don't trust any reviewers anymore.
It's
after the
alright.
Flash movie. It's all right, but so new ReevesVerse about the extended Bat Family or Pattinson's Batman's Justice. No, it's not going to be the
Basically,
Justice.
you're going to get more Batman adjacent characters like villains, Commissioner Gordon, Deathstroke,
Renee Montoya.
Maybe
like
not
that.
Deathstroke, but yeah, I could 100%. I could 100% see Renee Montoya being introduced in the next Batman movie.
Yeah,
100%.
it's too tempting. Like a female person of color detective. Like, come on, for these people
In a very noir Batman universe, yes.
Yeah, I just hope they do it right. But from going in from like a modern politics point of view, like Renee Montoya is too inclusive of the character.
Mm-hmm. So do you guys believe Rotten Tomatoes kill Indy 5? From what I've heard, Indy 5 is a mixed bag, but see, here's my problem with Rotten Tomatoes. They release the score before the movie comes out, so what that really communicates to the people going to see the movie is, here's how you should think about this movie.
See, the problem with Indy 5 is it costs way too much, and for some reason, Phoebe Waller-Bridge keeps getting work. Like, okay, Chris,
She's the franchise killer.
Chris,
For some reason.
Chris, we desperately need your perfection. What is the deal with Phoebe Waller-Bridge? Because he is like the killer of franchises. Why did he keep getting work?
Two reasons. One, she supports the message, and two, nepotism.
And by the way, here is live
I knew it.
footage of Phoebe Waller-Bridge talking about the fan base that she wants to join.
Anti-life is found, Assad, and we will stop at nothing to possess it.
Who is Phoebe Waller-Bridge related to that's getting her boosted like this?
It might not necessarily be relations so much as
Blackmail
relations. Carnal relations.
Yeah. What the problem though is it could just be friends in Hollywood, and that happens. Like, so she actually comes from, I believe she's British, so she's dealing with like the BAFTA stuff. You know, they have all sorts of weird, like, honestly, most media coming out of Britain now is unwatchable.
Yeah,
Like,
but it used to be like
That's putting it lightly.
British media of like the 2000s and partway through the 2010s was like so amazing. I gotta say, like British media of like the 2000s was, oh my god.
By the way, can I say one thing? So Dave is talking about Superman, My Adventure with Superman, real quick. But I love how he like calls me out. You might not like it because of how much Lois is a huge part of it, and I know you like Super Wonder more. Dave knows me so well.
I appreciate the courtesy.
Getting back to Indy 5, like I said, it cost like $300 million to make an indie movie. Like, I'm sorry, like I could see like 150, maybe 200 million. Because you got to realize a movie needs to make 4 times its budget in order to break be profitable. Even. So 4 times is $1.2 billion. Now,
there's no way.
Like, okay, a good indie movie could have done that. Like, if they had done this like the right way, yeah, possibly. But like the way they made the movie, there's just no way.
Look at the movie. With all the negative word of mouth around it, I really don't see it being able to achieve that.
To avoid spoilers, it's basically watching The Last Jedi without Rian Johnson.
Yep.
Also, Indy 5 is literally doing the same thing to Kingdom of the Crystal Skull that the sequels did, the prequels. Like, people are literally going back and being like, Crystal Skull wasn't that bad, was it?
No, Crystal Skull was awful, man.
We got off easy with that one.
Well, the problem, though, is, like, what we're seeing is, again, I keep mentioning it, I'm sorry for the tinfoil hat, but, like, this is demoralization. This is the assassination of characters that we've all enjoyed. And in the case that we're seeing here, like, you summed it up perfectly, man, when you're like, look, it's basically, it's Han Solo. We're watching, essentially, the same story of deadbeat loser gets, the movie opens up with Indiana Jones as a divorcee. They show it in the trailer, but like he's a divorcee, and he's, and then superior feminist icon moves in and replaces him. Like,
and the other thing that kind of pisses me off is like, oh no, Short Round can't be in this movie, yet Marion is in it. He makes a cameo. Like why couldn't you have Short Round in it? Like, come on.
I love Short Round. I'm biased though.
I for what I hear, they do mention Mutt. Like, he gets a mention. Like, come on, you can't even mention.
Oh boy, a mention.
No, it's not even a good mention, guys. When I don't want to ruin it, but
I mean, yeah.
I explain why he's not Indy's replacement.
Well, Shia LaBeouf he's not Hollywood's biggest fan, so.
Didn't Shia LaBeouf fell off after Dark of the Moon, or a couple of years after that?
Guys, I have to do this, and those who know. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
What the hell?
If
you know what that is, do you know what that is, JJheat?
Yes, I do.
It was the internet. It was a bit like the biggest ARG game. It was Capture the Flag, and 4chan killed it.
Boo.
You almost
Shia LaBeouf inadvertently created an ARG.
Awesome. So, yeah. So, I mean, and here's the thing. Also, I was watching Clownfish TV's new podcast, and he did. he had someone on there and they were talking about why these characters are changing. Why are they like putting it in the message and all stuff with the body positivity movement? And then one of the people said, this could be me putting on a tinfoil hat, but it seems to me like this is part of a demoralization tactic, like you said, Chris, about it being they want to take away our aspirational characters so that we have nothing to aspire to be.
That's a scary thought.
When all of our heroes are dead, we have nobody to rally behind.
It also would do a lot in explaining why they seem so dead set against the indie movement. Like, so it would also seem like why,
by the way,
like they're so against like the Comicsgate Iron Ages of the world, because all that we're doing is like, okay, our like the heroes I grew up with suck. Fine, I'll make my own, and we're succeeding. And like, no, you can't create new aspirational characters.
Look at Dave. Next up, Lucasfilm makes Wicket the Ewok a homeless deadbeat dad stumbling around drunk in the forest.
Like,
I would love to see that.
Look at how bad
they still dumb enough to get eaten by one.
Look at how bad they butchered Willow. Like they did it. It was so bad. Disney literally pulled it off their service.
Yeah, you can't even see it on their streaming service anymore.
Wait, they made a Willow reboot?
Yeah, they made a series for Willow, 1 season, and it was so bad because it was filled with all the same feminist garbage that we don't want to see. And it ruined the story to the point where Willow wasn't even the star of his own show, which is a common trope.
By the way, Tevia, it's not just Critical Drinker identifying the agenda / message behind media.
Though he does get a lot of stuff right. So I like Critical Drinker.
Yes, they have only 3 and the same time indication. Yeah, it's because what I love Brown Destroyer. So he basically said, so basically, if MCU wasn't successful with James Gunn, he would have no successful project that he directed, so to speak.
I mean, to be fair, like James Gunn was a prolific person in Hollywood before that. Remember, he wrote Scooby-Doo. I think it was inevitable that James Gunn would have gotten onto other projects. His career was already in an upward trajectory before this. He would have gotten onto something, So.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
No, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
So a lot of these directors aren't really directors. And if you notice that a lot of the big films had like nobody directors or directors with like a very short list of credits on their IMDb. And it was like, well, why is that? Why did we just give this major blockbuster film to this like lone director who like did like one weird indie film that kind of got okay scores? And the reason for that is because the directors don't exist. They're in name only. A lot of times these things are designed by committee. They're corporate developed and directed. They literally have to run this through China. Like most American films these days are not made for Americans anymore. They're made for China.
I mean, just look at like how these films are shot. Like we don't really see that many interesting camera angles. Like most films are quote unquote shot for coverage. And Chris, can you I think you do a better job explaining what coverage means than I would.
Well, yeah. But on top of that, like, that's why they chose these like inexperienced directors, because they'll go like, oh, okay, I'm just desperate to get my name on credits. I'll go along with it. And that's why, if you haven't noticed, like the Kathleen Kennedy saga with Star Wars, remember they fired like Lord and Miller, and then they had to bring in like Ron Howard at the end to finish Solo, and then like all these other like. That is a very common thing in this industry.
Colin Trevorrow was supposed to direct Episode 9. Heck, Josh Trank was supposed to direct the episode, the Boba Fett film. Benioff and Weiss, the people who ruined Game. Like the reason they ruined it. The reason they stopped doing Game of Thrones because HBO was ready to do 10 seasons. They were willing to pay the extra, because contract renewals were up for the actors. They're willing to pay the extra money for the actors. Because Game of Thrones was just that big of a cash cow. They were willing to do 10 seasons. But Benioff and Weiss, they wanted that Star Wars money, so they just quickly ended Game of Thrones, and it was so bad they lost their Star Wars gig.
Well, Josh Trank, you bring him up. He's a great example. He's never going to work in Hollywood again. He was one of those, they basically batted him on the back of the head and shouted "Bad Monkey" because he protested what they did to his Fantastic Four movie. All of those reshoots, all of the weird hairstyle changes that we saw with the characters.
I mean, that was Simon Kinberg really killed the Fox universe. Let's be honest. Simon Kinberg basically shadow directed Fan 4-6, here's a fun thing about Simon Kinberg. He wrote X-Men 3 Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
And then 10 years later, he wrote and directed, like, you want to know why Dark Phoenix is so bad? Simon Kinberg wrote and directed it. It was written and directed by the same guy who wrote X-Men 3.
Oof. Also, here's an interesting fact for you. Who remembers the Red Dawn remake from a couple of years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
What you guys have to understand about that, here's the interesting thing about that Red Dawn remake. The invading force was supposed to be China originally. Yep. They wanted a China release. They changed it to North Korea.
Yep.
That is 100% why that happened. So if you want to look at China's influence on Hollywood, go to
of all the movies to remake, I never thought Red Dawn would get a remake because that thing is so politically charged that like I don't know why you would remake it.
Well, the remake was actually pretty decent.
At least in my opinion, going that particular market, because they pretty much censor everything or they just outright ban it if it doesn't meet their expectations of their censorship community.
That's what they did with Black Adam.
So I feel like that's kind of a fool's errand going to that market specifically.
At least I think the China market is not as big of a deal as it once was because you're starting to see movie studios like do it and like not go through it, and then they're also starting to see studios speak out against it. Like I've seen
that's also because China has become less dependent on the American market because they're starting to make their own movies, their own superhero movies. So it's just like we no longer need you.
I mean,
this is a real thing. Oh, sorry.
Also, the thing is, China is heading for economic collapse. That's the other thing.
Well, we all are. But just to add on to the "we don't need you anymore" sentiment, that's exactly it. I can't remember the Mandarin term for it, but the English equivalent is sparring partners. Mm-hmm. And what China did was basically buy up all of our technology. All of the manufacturing jobs are over there now. Your iPhone, your Xbox.
Manufacturing jobs are slowly moving to Mexico.
But or they're actually moving out to Vietnam and stuff as well. But like all of these products that we take for granted, all of these movies, all of the the Fast and the Furious was not an American film. It was that entire series is built expressly for China. Same with let's see, there was a couple of Michael Bay movies, the Transformers. Same thing. Those are not.
You want a perfect example of the Warcraft movie? It made like $65 million here in the U.S. It did $400 million in China.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that.
Because China loves Warcraft.
Well, China. But here's the thing: is the reason why all of our businesses were corrupt and sold out to China is because they weaponized their overpopulation. Why would you care about a 16th of the world's population as potential customers when you could literally net a third of the world's population?
And it's literally biting everyone in the butt, including China.
Yeah, but that's why all of our movies and everything are censored now.
Well, going back to that's interesting. So let's on to our final night, and then this is one that Nick definitely wants to. That just came out today. Electra's back in Deadpool 2.
Yeah, this is a bit interesting get. So
and real quick. There's one more thing that I want to add on to this, and it's confirmed that Hugh Jackman Wolverine will be in the yellow suit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I gotta say, this is going to be the movie that proves superhero fatigue isn't real. Because honestly, I think that this movie could make like $1 billion, $1.5 billion because it's a movie that like everyone loves Deadpool, and like these are characters like that we all love, like the Fox movie characters. I do think Chris Evans is going to come back as Human Torch because it just makes way too much sense. The logic is way too strong.
Yeah, and he said he would.
Yeah, like he said, he'd be interested in coming back as Johnny Storm. Like him and Ryan Reynolds are really good friends. Also, like I think we're going to see more Fox characters. Like I think Ben Affleck has a good chance of coming back as Daredevil. I hope Jon Favreau comes back as Foggy. I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Cage comes back as Johnny as Ghost Rider. I think we're going to see some of the Fantastic Four people, like just all of them might come back as Sue Storm. I hope Michael Chiklis comes back as Ben Grimm. That would be cool.
Nice. But don't get too suspicious, Nick, but I mean, it is a multiverse time movie, and we do know
here's
that
the
the
thing,
TVA from Loki is showing up in this.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, though. We all know that like the X-Men actors' contracts expire in 2025, and that's why we haven't seen a new X-Men movie, but we have seen like Patrick Stewart pop up in Multiverse of Madness, and why Hugh Jackman can do this. So, like, we're gonna see like Halle Berry Storm. I think we might see Anna Paquin as Rogue.
I think honestly, we see the original cast, like the whole original cast.
I do think we might see one or two people. I think J-Law might come back as Mystique, because like the First Class era, probably has some representation from that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if McAvoy and Stewart comes back.
But by the way, I also think not only Wolverine, but everyone is going to be in like their comic accurate suits.
Either that, or it's going to be
I hope so.
Either that, or it's going to be the original ones. Because honestly, the Fantastic Four costumes from the 2005 movie were pretty good.
I'm talking about the X-Men, though.
X-Men, yeah. Like, though I think for the First Class people, you might see them in their first classes, because like those First Class costumes were pretty good. Those are the Grant Morrison.
But they weren't they were only in that for one movie. It depends on when they pick Wolverine up.
Like, I gotta say, like the First Class era ones, like Cyclops' Apocalypse suit is straight out of the 90s. I gotta say that.
The one he wears at the end, the suits they wear at the very end of the movie, where like they're facing the training sentinels. That is, all those suits are straight up the Jim Lee run suits.
Also, I want to see both Quicksilvers on screen, and I want Deadpool to say, Kike!
No, but I don't think they're gonna. I don't think the MCU Quicksilver is gonna just because it seems like a send off to the Fox verse, and he was not a Fox character.
Question. So if they are having the TVA pop up, is there any other MCU characters you think might show up?
Maybe Loki.
Maybe. But
because TVA.
Yeah, but like, who else do you think? Like, because this is gonna be multiverse. I do think they might have Korg in there just because like Ryan Reynolds and Taika seem to be good friends. And remember they did that
little promo, yeah.
Yeah, I could see Korg being in there. Like maybe a few other things. Also, I want to see Michael B. Jordan come back as the Human Torch.
Did David ask, is this Ryan Reynolds' last Deadpool movie? What I think, and actually Comic Historian and Comic Pop did a great video on this, and what they said is that this could be the last Deadpool movie, but it won't be his last time playing Deadpool. Like Deadpool, because this will probably be how Deadpool gets in the MCU, and then they'll have him show up in other movies.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a send-off to the Fox universe, like you said. I think it's going to be Deadpool kills the Fox universe.
Yes,
that'd be great. By the way, and then I could see the new Stan Lee cameo is the Deadpool cameo, and they could do one with him dressed as Stan Lee.
That would be pretty great.
That would be hilarious. He even tries to say Excelsior. He's like Excelsior or whatever that old man used to say.
Excessive.
Excelsior.
I'm trying to think, like, what were the other like Fox? Yes. What were the other like Fox? Oh, what if they have Thomas Jane Punisher show up?
Oh, hell yes. Yes.
I'm trying to think of like what the other Fox Marvel films were. I mean, obviously X-Men was a big one.
Well, I mean, Ben Affleck's Daredevil could, in light of the Electra news played by Jennifer Gardner, I strongly think this makes it more likely that Ben Affleck could come back as Daredevil for this movie.
The only thing that I think might throw a monkey wrench is Ben Affleck and Jennifer Gardner are ex-wife, but I think they're on good terms, and I think like maybe they could at least be professional about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like, I want Ben Affleck to come back as Daredevil so much.
That'd be great. But here's the good thing about Deadpool 3. It could encourage people to go back and review these films and maybe gain a new appreciation for them. By the way, David says it's actually and then David says it's actually pretty easy for them to forever use Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool because they could just use his voice and have whoever is in the suit.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretty much.
Also, I would love it if like they're like if him and Cable are looking at MCU and Thanos pops up and says, "Hey, look familiar?"
Yeah. My favorite joke from Deadpool 2 is when he goes, "So dark, you're sure you're not from the DC universe?" And by the way, Tevia says Punisher was not Fox.
Yeah, Netflix or no?
No, the Thomas Jane ones.
Well, technically, Daredevil was Scream Gems, but it was distributed by Fox. I think it's fair enough.
But Nix, what do you think about all this Deadpool news?
I'm excited. I love Deadpool. Ugh.
What if Toby shows up?
Oh my gosh, he's like, he gets dragged through the portal and he goes, "Not again."
No. What if it is? It's like Deadpool's like, "All right, I ordered some pizza, guys," and then like he opens the door and it's Toby. And he's like, "Pizza time."
And then behind him is the landlord going, "Rent."
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Rent.
Oh, did you hear this report that like Mr. Dickovich was actually supposed to be become Kraven the Hunter? Just imagine like Kraven beats up Peter and he's like, "You still owe me rent."
Yeah. Or he's like, $2. "This is for not giving me rent."
You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Well, at least you've seen the Kraven the previews for the Kraven.
That one actually looks kind of good.
Where did he get the American accent from? That's a British actor. Like Kraven's supposed to be Russian.
I think. Wait, he's Russian?
Yes, Kraven is Russia.
Yeah.
But it's probably the Russia thing, because of what's going on in the world. I think they want to minimize anything Russian. And in terms of that Kraven movie, I don't know how I feel about it because they gave him superpowers.
Honestly, I just treat these movies like they're just kind of their own thing. And honestly,
that's what you have to do.
Honestly, as a movie completely divorced from Spider-Man, it actually doesn't look half bad.
It doesn't look that bad. That's the thing. When people said Kraven, and it does look like they give him the actual coat. The only problem I have with it is that he's hunting poachers instead of animals and prey.
Yeah. I mean, it's politically correct, you know. But like, here's the thing: even Morbius wasn't terrible. It was just
it's Morbin time.
I'm
gonna get that clip. I'm gonna get that clip of Morbius going, "It's Morbin time."
I want to curse you out so badly right now, but I can't because frick you.
Well, of course, Nick, because it's Morbin time. I just love seeing Nick. Everyone on 3 say it's Morbin time to annoy Nick. 1, 2, 3. It's Morbin time.
Morbin time.
I hate you all so much.
Suck it, Nick. That was so worth it. Morbius bombed.
I hereby announce my resignation from Comics League.
All right, well, no more promotion then. The Sonyverse is still just trying to cook, but they just do whatever they want. That's so weird.
I mean, honestly, Sony's the solution. Like, they just need to make an Amazing Spider-Man 3, and like they could have it set in the because like Sony is building its own multiverse. Because remember, Morpheus, they do reference
Morbius, not Morpheus. This isn't the Matrix.
What
if I told you?
To say, "Oh, remember that crap down in San Francisco?" Like, the only problem is I hate you guys so much. The big M in the post-credit scene, the really stupid post-credit scene. This universe doesn't have a Spider-Man. Like, oh come on! Like, I would have loved it if like
no, they didn't say that.
I thought that's what he said.
No, he showed up and goes, "I'm stuck here." It probably has something to do with Spider-Man.
Well, that would explain why the big M would be like, "Who's Spider-Man?" Like, I just really want, I really want,
okay.
I just really want Andrew Garfield to be a Spider-Man universe. Also, it would be really cool if it was revealed that Venom actually did do the symbiote bonded to Andrew Garfield beforehand. You know?
And that's the whole I stopped pulling my punches.
Partially, yeah, because it has been like 10 years. And please, for the love of God, can we get Ghost Spider in Amazing Spider-Man 3?
played by Emma Stone. There you go.
Please, for the love of God, can we?
But what I think could happen, and Tevia, I'm gonna answer this because Mayday Parker is not as big of a character as you think she is. I got news for you. She's an Elseworlds character, but that no one except the hardcore Spider-Man fans remember. There's a better chance of
I remember
Spider-Man.
her.
Also, let's be honest.
Real quick, Nick, I wasn't done yet. You have a better chance of Spider-Man 2099 getting his own movie because guess what? He was the villain of a very successful Spider-Verse movie. Yeah,
okay,
ahead,
hear me out. A live-action 2099 movie starring Oscar Isaacs as a live-action Miguel.
You can pull it off.
And by the way, Tevia, I know you care about her, but the general audience doesn't know who she is. And I know you're going to bring up the Spider-Verse movie, but she wasn't that key to the Spider-Verse movie. If she was like a key plot point, then yes, I could agree with you. She wasn't.
I mean, in 5 years, she could be like a John Kent like level character. But thing is, Marvel needs to get the heads out of their butts and actually like go there.
Arguably, John Kent is becoming less like important in DC, so it's only a matter of time before they demote him from Superman.
I would argue he's going to get shelved and fizzled out altogether, but that's a separate conversation.
But that's a separate one. The point is, I'm really excited for Deadpool 3.
Yeah, like honestly, I think plus if you just look online, there actually is a lot of excitement. Because remember when they made that announcement? Hugh Jackman is still a draw. Like the fact that Hugh Jackman is coming back and the fact that he's going to wear the suit, there is actual hype for this movie. There is legit.
And here's the thing:
hype.
I love how Ryan announced that, where he goes, "Yeah, and we spent a lot of time writing, and we got nothing. But we did have one idea. Hey, Hugh, you want to come back and play Wolverine one more time? Yeah, sure."
I'm just going to say this right now: when the trailer drops, it is going to break the internet. Like,
oh
my God.
Can you imagine? By the way, you better believe we're going to do an emergency stream when that trailer comes out.
Yeah.
That is happening. It's going to be a pain. Everyone here invited back on to discuss it. It's going to be a big to do because Hugh Jackman in the suit.
Yeah.
Yes.
We almost got it.
They did say
too.
it's going to be full sleeves, so I'm like, okay, with that. But and they did say he is going to wear the actual cowl too.
Nice.
And
So
David,
Wait.
this is the only thing I'm going to bring up about John Kent. Everything about that whole situation was pretty much 5G, Dan DiDio, and an editorial mandate gone bad.
Oh,
that's
sorry.
Wait.
What you're going to say, JJheat.
And David says, I was out of town. I stopped by a Barnes and Noble, and they had a stack of the Bendis Superman run, Volume 1, that was like 30 books wide, and I just laughed to myself. we all laugh whenever we see Bendis' name on anything DC.
I will say this about like the Wolverine costume thing. Like when they say he's going to be in the cowl, the question you ask yourself is, how long will he be in the cowl? My prediction is it's going to be the opening scene. He's going to be in the cowl. And then at some point, he's going to take off the mask. The mask is going to be removed from him. The rest of the movie, he's just going to be in the rest of the suit, except the mask. That's my prediction.
Yeah, what I think will happen is that when we first see Wolverine, he'll be in the middle of like a battle. Maybe it's an X-Men thing, and then that's how we get. Wait, no, Nick. I think it's going to be like a big X-Men battle, and then that's going to be the full suit moment. At the end of it, he takes off the cowl, and then Deadpool grabs him.
Okay, here's my prediction. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So the scene you first, like, basically Deadpool goes, it's this big forest, and then all of a sudden you see like two figures crashing through the trees, and it's Wolverine fighting Eric Bana's Hulk.
Well, yeah, you can't. That'll be the other way to do it, because that way you homage that thing, and that'll be a hell of a cameo if Neon Green Ang Lee Hulk. It would be kind of cool to parody it. They have like the panels come on screen, and then Deadpool goes, "Where the hell did these panels come from?"
And then he like deeds off, and it's Eric Bana, and then Deadpool looks at him like, "You're not Mark Ruffalo."
Mm-hmm. Yes. Dave says, so since Deadpool 3 is said to be part of the MCU. Will this be part of that? Will this be the movie that properly introduces mutants into the MCU? Could be.
Well, technically, they've already introduced mutants if you watch Miss Marvel.
But no one watched Ms. Marvel, so
Wait,
probably.
Yeah,
according to viewer numbers, no one watched Ms. Marvel.
And what's really sad is Ms. Marvel is
Watch
actually a pretty decent series. Like,
Yeah,
I
the
gotta be
sad
honest, Ms. Marvel is actually a pretty decent series. I recommend it.
It is. The problem is that what Marvel did is that they gave shows to characters that can't sell their own books. The only one that they really gave one that warranted a show was Hawkeye, which I will defend Hawkeye until the day.
Yeah, Hawkeye's good.
Hawkeye do or die. That's the do or die one.
See, the thing is, with Marvel, they actually put effort into it. Like the way they handle texting. It is actually a very good looking show.
Visuals, like on the screen, showing her imagination.
The writing,
that was so cool.
It was a very creative show, and it's just a shame. And also, I'm going to say this: her costume in the show is like 10 times better than what they're putting her in for the Marvels. Like, her Marvels costume is such a huge downgrade.
And by the way, I liked Moon Knight, except for the ending.
I found it boring.
Yeah, the big CGI fight was not necessary.
Here's the problem with Moon Knight. It took so long to get to the freaking point. I'm like, just stop.
It's like the writers were more interested in the split personality aspect of the character rather than like the superhero part.
Which that was cool, but I was like,
They spent too much time on the multiple personality aspect of the character at the expense of the superhero, and
they used it as a backdoor pilot for another female hero to take the spotlight away from Moon Knight.
Also, I'm just going to say this: we are not going to be getting a Blade movie. That is not going to happen.
At this point, I think they're going to pull it.
Because Mahershala Ali was not satisfied with the script. Apparently, at one point, they were going to do like a Blade's daughter kind of thing. And
figures.
I got to give props to Mahershala Ali. Like, he had enough like self-respect and backbone to be like, no, I'm not. Did you know that like the post-credit scene to the Eternals was supposed to have Blade in it?
It does. You hear his voice.
No, the voice is cut out.
No, it has the voice of Blade.
I watched the Eternals and I watched that post-credit scene. Blade is not in there.
His voice is. It says Blade.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I'll pull up the
voice
scene
in
then.
there.
I'll pull up the scene.
We might get copywritten for this.
Danger, danger.
I'm gonna Google.
But while we're waiting on that, did She-Hulk actually get some decent views? Because I just heard it was bad all across the board.
No.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah, it was
Allow
terrible.
me, Nick. I have it all pulled up. Okay, just let me share it. All right, hang on 1 second. And then we'll wrap up because it's getting pretty long. All right. So here it is. Wait for it.
I have to try.
Wait for it.
Sure you're ready for that, Mr. Whitman?
See? Voice.
All right.
You know,
all right.
No,
all right,
not cut out.
Dude,
I'm
that's
wrong.
weird.
I'm wrong.
Because no, I'm gonna admit something on the high seas or in overseas versions that is not in the film.
That's probably why.
Because I mean, it's the same reason why they airbrush Finn out of all the Star Wars posters in China. You know,
Oh my God, yeah.
Chinese people are insanely racist.
Dude, it's really stupid how racist they are. Yeah.
Watch on Disney Plus. It's in there. I know because I watched the movie recently on Disney Plus. And
I'll admit when I'm wrong.
But Disney Plus also affords the luxury of real-time patching. They actually patch their TV shows like video games. Like they could have added that in after initial airing.
And they did that. They did that with Falcon the Winter Soldier. They took out some blood.
Also, they did that with Ms. Marvel to the Statue of Liberty because the Statue of Liberty shouldn't be green in Ms. Marvel because of Spider-Man.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like the Statue of Liberty shots in Ms. Marvel were initially green as it's supposed to be, but because they were doing restoration on Statue of Liberty in Spider-Man, because like the Statue of Liberty is copper. It's supposed to be. It's like the reason. Yeah, the reason why Statue of Liberty is green is because of like the patina, the rust kind of stuff. But if you actually go back and like if you saw the Statue of Liberty when it's first built, it was shot. It would basically look like a brand new penny.
Yep. Yeah, there's a reason why they built statues out of that too, because that patina makes it virtually unoxidizable, meaning that if you were to build the Statue of Liberty out of, like, say, iron, it would have rusted and degraded and corroded over time. But a patina, the copper and bronze, for that matter, actually, they have a 10,000-year-old Chinese sword that was made out of bronze from the Bronze Age. It's still sharp and battle ready for today.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's
why like that's my home defense, my 10,000-year-old sword.
Bronze is like a really interesting material because all it is a mixture of copper and tin. And like that's why before the Iron Age we had like the Bronze Age, because like bronze is a really great, like a really good material.
Yep.
But on that note,
it's both cheap and really really useful.
Yeah. On that note, we're gonna call it this week. This was a fantastic discussion, and again, I want to thank everyone here and everyone that watches and subs for getting me to the point where this is now monetized. I will do either a community post or just probably a community post and social media post talking about the tiers. As far as Comics League content, movie night tomorrow is canceled just because there's like a lot going on tomorrow, and I need to prioritize some stuff. I will be going on Nick's show for the Resident Evil rewatch, reaction and critique, which
it's a let's play.
Yeah, it's a let's play, so it'll be really fun. So in terms of Under Two Capes next week, TBD. So Nick, the person that know how to ship 2 characters, what is coming out on your show besides the rewatch? And what's up, Courage?
Yep. So like you said, we got the rewatch. I hate you, Jared. You messed me up. We got the let's play of Resident Evil 2 modded. So if you want some really crazy effects, there you go. And then Monday we'll be releasing the next episode of the Avatar rewatch. So excited! Toph is now officially part of the gang. So expect a lot more interesting stuff. Also, I wanted to thank people. The last episode we posted got a really big response, and I just want to say thank you for that. I appreciate you all. Gotta watch it. And then got Super Split Screen Bros coming up. Still kind of debating about Comics Watch. That was a pilot, kind of see how things go. So like that might be a touch and go before it comes regular. But yeah, and then should be getting Stern Samurai back from the printers, and I should have a colored and possibly lettered page for you here shortly.
Sweet. And Nick, you might want to check your name on the StreamYard. Look what I put this out.
Oh, dude. He just yeeted himself.
Okay. Chris, where can we find you, and what have you got coming out in any of your content?
Sweet, sure. So on, let's see, Sunday night, I'll be streaming with Angelus Draven's channel. He goes over some wrestling stuff. Big fan of AEW, ROH stuff. So if you're into wrestling, check out Angelus Draven on Sunday. I'm not sure the exact time. And then Monday, I'll be over at Etep Wakuian's Place to Be Reviews, where he has some hilarious commentary on pop culture stuff. Definitely not safe for work. Definitely not rated PG. And I'm continuing work on my Infinitale Chronicles graphic novel series. If you're interested in fantasy books, check us out at infinitaalechronicles.com. And thanks again for having me, man.
Anytime.
Okay. I got.
And by the way,
I got to say this.
Real quick, Chris, if you want to come on my because every week I do like an indie review show where also I bring on indie writers to promote their books. If you want to do that sometime, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, dude, I appreciate that.
Channel anytime as well, Chris.
Oh, hey, thanks, JJheat.
I just want to say this. Truck all y'all.
I can't believe how long it took you to notice that. I actually had to point it out.
Truck you, Jared.
She's talking about a little
all 4 wheels.
I'm talking about the name I gave him. I put Nick a Nightwing and Batgirl for life, and then below it I put the Flash's biggest fan.
Four-wheel drive truck you. Four-wheel drive truck you, Jared.
Worth it. Worth it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to actually go to Nick's account to use this particular clip because it's worth it. And I may just go ahead and install it on my thing. I regret nothing!
Chevy truck you.
Nick, where can we find you? And if you have any content coming out to promote, go ahead.
Wait, Nick's or me?
Nick's.
Go ahead, Nick's. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm on Twitter at BunnyGirlNix, and you should follow me on there if you want to help me take over the world.
Interesting.
The pinky and the brain. One is a genius.
I might be tempted to spare you.
God.
Yeah. Don't make me change your name again, Nick.
Hey, the brain is right here, and he is not amused.
Don't make me change your name again, Nick.
Courage is not amused.
JJheat, go ahead and JJheat, what have you got coming out, and where can we find you?
You can find me at JJheat Blaze on YouTube. You can find me at JJheat75 on Twitter. Jared and I have done New Direction. The official timeline video should be coming out Sunday or Monday. TBD. But I'm also working on some other videos like A Wasted Potential, such as Snyderverse, essentially the Flash movie, and how it should have been an actual Flashpoint adaptation and not some Hamadaverse monstrosity. And yes, I'm going to get clipped in a second. But
any moment.
For all intents and purposes, it's a great time to be a Blaze fan. So like, comment, subscribe, and flame off. And Jared, if you could play the clip.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Nick, you have really bad taste in superheroes. I mean, look at his name right there.
Okay, that's uncalled for. That's crossing the line.
Did you see what he was changing my name to in his stream? Oh, this is payback. This is payback, dude.
That's crossing the line, man.
He made it sound like I liked Lois Lane as a character. That is crossing a line, my dude. That is crossing a line. So on that note, everyone, stay heroic, and I will be sure to see you in the next episode.
Wonder Bad.
Batman doesn't do ships.